everybody. Today, I want to talk a little bit about waves of grief and the way in which we're all dealing with this pandemic and crisis where people are out of work, isolated, lonely. And I think it's important for us all to find meaning in this crisis. I had a meeting yesterday with our department and wanted to share this on a wider scale so that others can maybe take something of importance out of it. We talked a little bit about Viktor Frankl. Viktor Frankl was a Nazi camp survivor, psychiatrist who wrote of his experience. And he's well known for basically saying that with the right why, you could get through any how. In other words, if you have meaning, if you have a purpose, you can deal with any obstacle, any struggle that comes your way. In our conversation, the concept of uncertainty came up. And uncertainty is something that when we're looking at the world is all around us. But at times of crisis and pandemic, I remember in 9/11, for some period of time, there was this terrible uncertainty of what would happen, what did happen, what will we do, how will we respond, how will the world change? And I think that we need to find a shared purpose again, like we did during 9/11. I think we need to come together and understand what we're trying to accomplish. When I wear a mask in a public setting, that's me protecting you as much as anything else. And I think that people need to get that through their mind, that there is no mind control campaign here. This is us coming together as a herd. You keep hearing the word herd immunity, but it's us coming together as a community and saying in our local, state, regional, and national arenas that we are going to fight together against this pandemic. And if we have that type of meaning in our action, that our actions, our activities are definitely going to affect our families, our friends, our neighbors, our communities, and the world in general, I think that'll help us to approach how we deal with reopening. How are we going to deal with small business, medium-sized businesses, government organizations, schools? How are we going to come together to overcome? How are we going to get back to activity in a way that's safe? Because the virus isn't going to go away anytime soon. We know this. And we know the virus will change and that we're learning about immunity. And I won't get into those details today. I really want to focus on meaning. So when you're overwhelmed with thoughts, slow down, take a deep breath, hold, and release. And you can do something called box breathing, 4 seconds in, 4-second hold, 4 seconds out, 4-second hold. You can do variations of that. I'm a big fan of biofeedback with heart rate variability, and there's various programs you can use in that platform. I won't get into details on that, maybe in another video. But just following your breath and taking a moment to recapture and regain control of something that's within your reach can help you to start to focus on other things that are in your reach. I brought up the analogy of Jane the Virgin talking about the tooth fairy on her television show. The child was losing a tooth and someone had told him not to believe in the tooth fairy. I think it was his sisters. The idea eventually became extrapolated to, Santa Claus, and then from Santa Claus to God. And I think that whatever your spiritual beliefs, whatever your background, it's meaning that makes us human. It's finding a shared story and a shared purpose. And in this moment, our shared purpose is protecting one another. We live with uncertainty from the moment we realize we're alive. And for most of us, that happens sometime in pre-adolescence or adolescence. We realize the tenuousness of our existence as we grow up into our adulthood. And when we have our own children, as another example that came up in our conference yesterday, we see the fragility of life and the frailty of what we know about the world. And so when we focus on those things in life beyond the pandemic, we find ways to deal with that uncertainty that's productive. And so, like the Foo Fighters say, no one's getting out of here alive. We are all, Mother Nature is going to catch up to us all, but we have to have some shared purpose and shared meaning before that happens. And while we're standing in the face of fear, we can find the heroic nature that makes us what we are. So today, I'd like you to focus on that and be aware of your breath, be aware of what you can control. And let's find a shared purpose. Let's find a shared meaning. I look forward to seeing you all very soon. Be well, be safe.